Have you ever felt stuck in a cycle of pain and sadness? Do you sometimes wonder why life seems harder for you than for others? These feelings are more common than you might think, and they often stem from a hidden source that affects many of us. Today, we're going to explore a major cause of unnecessary suffering and unhappiness that might be holding you back without you even realizing it. Let's dive into this important topic and uncover the root of so much unnecessary pain. We'll start by looking at how this hidden culprit shows up in our daily lives. It's not always obvious, but once you know what to look for, you'll start to see its effects everywhere. Unnecessary suffering is a complex issue that impacts people in various ways. It's that nagging feeling that things aren't quite right, even when everything seems fine on the surface. It's the weight you carry that makes simple tasks feel overwhelming. It's the constant worry and self-doubt that keeps you from fully enjoying life's moments. This type of suffering doesn't come from external circumstances. Instead, it originates from within our own minds. It's a pattern of thinking that we've developed over time, often without realizing it. The good news is that once we identify this pattern, we can take steps to change it. So, what are the signs that you might be experiencing this unnecessary suffering? Pay attention to how you feel throughout the day. Do you often feel anxious or on edge, even when there's no apparent reason? Do you find yourself constantly criticizing your actions or appearance? Are you frequently comparing yourself to others and feeling like you come up short? These are all indicators that you might be caught in a cycle of negative self-talk. This internal dialogue is the root of much unnecessary suffering and unhappiness. It's that voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough. It's the constant critic that never seems satisfied with your efforts. Negative self-talk develops over time, often starting in childhood. It can be influenced by many factors, including our upbringing, experiences, and the messages we receive from society. Over time, these thoughts become habitual, and we start to believe them without question. Let's break down the different types of negative self-talk. There's the all-or-nothing thinking, where you see things in black and white with no middle ground. For example, if you make a mistake at work, you might think, "I'm a complete failure," instead of recognizing it as a single error. Then there's overgeneralization, where you take one negative event and use it to predict a never-ending pattern of defeat. If you have one bad date, you might conclude, "I'll never find someone who likes me." Another common form is mental filtering, where you focus solely on the negative aspects of a situation and filter out all the positive ones. This can make even good experiences feel disappointing or unsatisfying. These types of negative self-talk have a profound impact on our emotions and behavior. When we constantly tell ourselves that we're not good enough, we start to believe it. This belief then influences our actions. We might avoid taking risks or trying new things because we've convinced ourselves that we'll fail. The effects of negative self-talk aren't limited to our personal lives. They ripple out into every area of our existence. In our relationships, negative self-talk can make us overly sensitive to criticism or cause us to push people away because we don't feel worthy of love and connection. At work, it can hold us back from pursuing promotions or new opportunities. We might not speak up in meetings or share our ideas because we've convinced ourselves that they're not valuable. This can stunt our professional growth and lead to feelings of frustration and unfulfillment in our careers. The impact on our physical health shouldn't be underestimated either. Constant negative self-talk can lead to chronic stress, which has been linked to a variety of health issues, including heart disease, digestive problems, and weakened immune function. So, how do we start to change this pattern? The first step is becoming aware of our negative self-talk. This requires us to pay close attention to our thoughts throughout the day. When you notice a negative thought, try to pause and examine it. Is it based on fact, or is it an assumption or fear? Once you've identified these thoughts, you can start to challenge them. Ask yourself if there's evidence to support this negative belief. Often, you'll find that these thoughts are not based on reality, but on fears or past experiences that are no longer relevant. The next step is to start replacing these negative thoughts with more balanced, realistic ones. This doesn't mean forcing yourself to think positively all the time. Instead, it's about finding a middle ground. If you make a mistake, instead of thinking, "I'm such an idiot," try, "I made a mistake, but I can learn from it and do better next time." Building a positive mindset takes time and practice. It's about creating new habits of thought that support and encourage you rather than tear you down. One effective strategy is to treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a good friend. Would you speak to a friend the way you speak to yourself? Another helpful technique is to practice gratitude. Each day, try to identify 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. It could be as simple as enjoying a good cup of coffee or seeing a beautiful sunset. This practice helps shift your focus from what's wrong to what's right in your life. Visualization can also be a powerful tool. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself succeeding in your goals or handling difficult situations with confidence. This mental rehearsal can help build your self-belief and reduce anxiety about future challenges. It's important to remember that changing your self-talk is a process. It won't happen overnight, and there will be setbacks along the way. The key is to be patient and persistent. Every time you catch and correct a negative thought, you're rewiring your brain and creating new, healthier thought patterns. When you do face setbacks, don't see them as failures. Instead, view them as opportunities to learn and grow. Maybe you had a day where negative thoughts seemed to dominate. Instead of getting discouraged, try to identify what triggered these thoughts. This awareness can help you be better prepared to handle similar situations in the future. As you work on improving your self-talk, you'll likely start to notice changes in other areas of your life. You might find yourself feeling more confident at work or in social situations. Your relationships may improve as you become more self-assured and less dependent on others' approval. You might also discover a newfound willingness to try new things or take on challenges you previously avoided. This is because as your inner dialogue becomes more supportive, you'll start to believe in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate all negative thoughts. It's normal and even helpful to have some negative thoughts. They can alert us to potential dangers or areas where we need to improve. The aim is to create a more balanced inner dialogue, one that's realistic but also kind and supportive. As you continue on this path of personal growth, you'll likely find that your overall sense of well-being improves. You may experience less anxiety and more contentment in your daily life. This isn't because your external circumstances have necessarily changed, but because your perception and response to those circumstances have shifted. This shift in perception is at the heart of reducing unnecessary suffering and increasing happiness. When we stop being our own worst critics and start being our own best supporters, we create a foundation for genuine happiness and fulfillment. It's also worth noting that improving your self-talk doesn't just benefit you. As you become more positive and self-assured, you'll likely find that you have more to give to others. You might become a more supportive friend, a more patient parent, or a more effective leader at work. This ripple effect of positivity can extend far beyond your immediate circle. By working on your own personal growth, you're contributing to a more positive, compassionate world. Every interaction you have is an opportunity to spread kindness and understanding, both to yourself and to others. As we wrap up, let's recap the main points we've covered. We've explored how negative self-talk is a major cause of unnecessary suffering and unhappiness. We've looked at how it develops, the different forms it can take, and the wide-ranging impact it can have on our lives. We've also discussed strategies for recognizing and changing negative self-talk, including challenging negative thoughts, practicing gratitude, and treating ourselves with compassion. We've acknowledged that this is a process that takes time and patience, but one that can lead to significant improvements in our overall well-being. Now, it's time for you to take the next step. Start paying attention to your inner dialogue. Notice when negative thoughts arise and practice challenging and reframing them. Be patient with yourself as you learn this new skill. Remember, every small step forward is progress. Consider keeping a journal to track your thoughts and feelings. This can help you identify patterns in your thinking and see your progress over time. You might be surprised at how much your inner dialogue changes with consistent effort and awareness. Don't be afraid to seek support if you need it. Talking to a trusted friend, family member, or mental health professional can provide valuable perspective and encouragement as you work on changing your self-talk. Remember, you have the power to change your inner dialogue and, by extension, your life. It won't always be easy, but it's absolutely worth the effort. By reducing unnecessary suffering and cultivating a more positive mindset, you're opening yourself up to a world of possibilities and a deeper sense of happiness and fulfillment. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of such an important topic. I hope you found it helpful and inspiring. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Many people struggle with negative self-talk, but with awareness and effort, it's possible to create a more positive, supportive inner dialogue. As you move forward from here, I encourage you to be kind to yourself. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it might seem. Every step you take towards a more positive mindset is a step towards a happier, more fulfilling life. And remember, this isn't about achieving perfection. It's about progress and growth. There will be good days and bad days, but with each passing day, you're building the skills and resilience to handle whatever life throws your way. So, are you ready to start your journey towards a more positive inner dialogue? Are you prepared to let go of unnecessary suffering and open yourself up to greater happiness? The power is in your hands. Your future self will thank you for the effort you put in today. As we conclude, I want to leave you with a final thought. Your mind is a powerful tool, capable of creating both suffering and joy. By learning to guide your thoughts in a more positive direction, you're not just improving your own life, you're contributing to a more positive world for everyone around you. Thank you for your attention and commitment to your personal growth. I wish you all the best on your journey towards a more positive, fulfilling life. Remember, every day is a new opportunity to be kinder to yourself and to cultivate happiness from within. You've got this.